Really stunning pictures there. Delighted to say that Clive joins us now on the sofa. Clive, great to see you here. Of course, we see you wherever we go because you are wherever the players are, aren't you? Those are wonderful images, and they're all around us here in the O2 as well. And clearly, the players have a great deal of respect for you, so that must make your job a lot easier.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, obviously, I've been shooting tennis since 1984 was my first Wimbledon. So, you know, you get to know the players over the years, and sort of this generation now of Nadal, Federer, Murray, Djokovic, it's all sort of come together for me, and they sort of respect me because I'm a little bit older now. Not the sort of same age as, say, the Edbergs and the Beckers of old. So, you know, it works well for me now with the players, yeah.
And the one we see here is the one we've got around the O2, the top 8 here. This
shot was actually done about 2 years ago for this event, and this was the one on the posters outside when you came in through the main doorway. Obviously this year we have all the action pictures up, which was shot in February. So.
And did you get all those players together, or was it one at a time and all superimposed? Do you have to get them as and when they're available? Or?
I get them as and when they're available, and then I rely on a very good retoucher to build the pictures, and we shoot the O2 separately and then put them all on. So they're not all there at once.
Ah, fascinating.
But Clive, I want to know what you look for in a player when you're looking for a good picture. As we see here with Djokovic, he looks fantastic. What do you search for when you're looking for a good picture?
Well, I mean, that's sort of a classic action picture, and we'd call that the egg in the frying pan, because basically it looks like an egg in a frying pan, and everybody's trying to get the ball on the strings. Yeah. But obviously, it depends on the match and who you're working for. For the papers, you may need a news picture. So you might need, you know, the celebration at the end of the game. You may be looking for the two players in one photograph. But this sort of photograph is a generic. It'll be used in magazines, posters around the world.
And will you take thousands of pictures a day of this type?
Oh yeah. I mean, we'll probably do about maybe 800 pictures a game.
Wow.
Now of that, maybe only this sort of a picture comes once in a while, because to get the ball on the strings like this, and Roger in this classic backhand mid-air volley, you don't get many of those.
Whereabouts is this?
This was in New York this year.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It is, and presumably you're kind of on rapid fire, are you, so that you get the right moment that you can pick.
I mean, people think if you've got a motor drive and it takes 12 frames a second, it's easy. But, you know, you still have to go on the first frame you think is near the picture. Yeah. And then you have a couple more in case Roger slipped, fell over or something, and then you'd have the rest of it.
What I love here, though, is the lighting and the shadow you get, because you get his stance is replicated in the shadow underneath him too, isn't it?
Well, this was shot from very high up at the back of the stands at the US Open on centre court, and as you know, it's a very big court.
Yeah,
so it's on an incredibly long lens, looking down. And the idea is to get the shadows, but this year at the US Open the weather was awful, so we didn't get many shadows. I think that was one of the few days we had sunshine. Really? So
And Clive, we talked amongst the players, or to the players, about how they develop their game, and clearly you've developed your photography over the years, but how have you had the mindset to understand photography better for a tennis point of view?
I just think, you know, I love sport, so you've just got to understand the sport a little bit. And obviously you improve all the time, and it's a bit like a tennis player. You have to keep playing, you have to keep photographing. If you stop for a year, you wouldn't be as good, you wouldn't be as quick on the moments.
That's actually about this one. Is he celebrating or grimacing?
He's actually grimacing. but he did win that game.
Did he?
So that went out as a sort of celebration.
This would be good. 8 years ago, maybe?
No, it was here. It was actually here at the O2. The first year it was here.
Okay, gosh.
Yeah.
Completely black background. Must be very, very difficult to get that kind of that exposure right, is it?
The problem with this year is all the players are in black. So you've got like Andy in black against black, and it's not very good for us. We like it when Rafa's in the light blue or the pink or yellow, and they really stand out.
Oh, look at this picture.
Wow.
How special was this, Clive, for you to see Andy pick up the trophy?
After shooting tennis for 30 years, this was like the highlight. I think the US Open was the highlight for me, because it was the first slam. But I think this picture here says it all.
That does.
I look back at Pete Sampras when he won Wimbledon, and I looked at all the people in the crowd. I did a similar shot then, and I remembered it.
Yeah.
So I shot this, and I looked at how many people had iPhones and cameras now. And in the old days, nobody had them. No. So it was kind of interesting to see the difference of everybody has a phone.
Isn't that amazing? And what I love is that you've actually focused here on the crowd. Andy in the foreground is actually a softer image, isn't it?
It wouldn't have worked if he was sharp.
No.
Because the picture's predominantly people, and you look at all the faces and the joy on the faces of the people who've witnessed a great historic moment.
So you're so experienced now, Clive, you can almost predict in time what's going to happen on point by point in situations, or is it a bit of luck that on that? But I doubt it.
You just get to know the players. You know when Andy's in a mood and he's going to go crazy. You know when it builds up, you can sense it. You know, it's like a sixth sense. And it's the same with, like, you know, Rafa. You know he's going to celebrate when he became world #1 here. So.
And I want to ask you about other sports. Have you ever worked in other sports and how it you know, its similarities to tennis?
Golf is very similar in the structure of the sport. So many events, so many players. But I generally work in football as well, so it's completely different.
Enjoyable in football?
It is. It's brilliant because I love football. But the problem is you're on the ground. You don't get the same opportunities to do artistic photographs.
You do some sort of quite personal ones as well, sort of portraiture stuff, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, that all started with Rafa, helping him with his foundation. So we do a set of photographs of him each year.
That's brilliant.
This year we shot in Cozumel, and this was shot at Rafa's house in Mallorca, where we put a white background up for this shot. And it helps his foundation, and Rafa doesn't need to do so many photo shoots throughout the year.
And these guys respond so well to you, clearly. Are they very accessible, and you have a brilliant relationship with the top guys?
Yeah, they are accessible, but obviously you need the trust of the player, and to shoot something like this of Rafa, you can't just walk in and expect him to do that for you. You need to know him, and I've known him quite a few years, so he has a bit of confidence now that I'm not, and I would never put a picture out that he didn't approve, so all these would be approved by him.
Which do you prefer doing? We saw in the film just now, you doing a lot of those set-up shots where you get the players to replicate an action on court, which end up giving you stunning images. Do you prefer to do the set-up shots a bit like this, or do you like the action shots when you're out there courtside?
I love both. I love the action when they're out there courtside, but I love to see a picture on a billboard, or when I come in here. My name isn't on it like in a newspaper, but it's fantastic to see, say, the doubles players up there. It's just nice to see your work used big. And this one, he did go in the pool. I got him to jump in first. So.
Brilliant. And so where will you be this afternoon, Clive? Will you be low down, eye up? Do you move around during the match?
I'll move around. I'll probably go low down for the first part of the game, and then I might go up for the second part. It depends where I think the celebration is going to come, the best picture. So.
Well, Clive, thanks ever so much for joining us, talking us through it, and for providing us with some utterly stunning images.
Fascinating. Well done.
Great to see you, Clive. Thanks very much.